Hello students, this is Shweta Roy. This video is for Chapter 7 History Part 1 Urban Changes under Colonialism. In this video we are going to discuss about reurbanization and Suprana. Here we have the topic urban changes under colonialism. So actually British colonialism was laid in India in 1757 after the Battle of Plassey. So after their victory in 1757 in the Battle of Plassey, they actually started their political expansion. Now they took control over the whole Bengal. And after that, slowly, gradually, they expanded their territory. In 1857, Queen Victoria was declared the Empress of India. And from here, the rule of British in India began. Now the main aim of British was to establish their hold over all means of production and reduce the status of India to a mere supplier of raw materials. They wanted India to uh, be an agricultural economy so that they can get the raw materials. So now we'll have the look of on reurbanization, the topic reurbanization. So as you know that India's economy was self-sufficient. They were self-dependent, self-sufficient, but slowly and gradually what happened? They were transformed into a colonial economy. Now what British were doing? They were putting their all efforts to take the hold of the sources of raw materials of India that could be used in the manufacture goods in England, because they were getting the raw materials at very cheap price. So they wanted all those sources of the raw materials under their control. Now what happened? Harsh revenue policies, confiscation of lands of peasants and zamindars, increase in tariff on Indian goods, ban on the export of Indian manufactured goods, decline of traditional Indian handicrafts, and transformation of artisan into a wage workers. These were the main economic impacts of British rule in India. So there was industrial revolution going on in European countries, but India was not part of that. India was not benefited with that industrial revolution. Why? Because these British, they wanted to restrict India to the status of an agricultural economy so that they can get the cheap supply of raw materials, and they can make the goods, they can manufacture the goods, and whatever goods were manufactured by the British, they were putting it into India. But it was too expensive. So so the village community of the India were unable to buy that. So what happened? In result, many villages and small cities, they lost their importance and existence because they were unable to buy the products manufactured by the British. Now people move to newer places in search of employment. They were living this agriculture, and they were moving for in search of employment and other opportunities so that they can make a living. And this process is called reurbanization. Next topic is growth of new towns. Now the people started migrating to different places in search of work and capital. So in that case, new centers of trade and activity was flourished in the late 18th century. And the same time, what British did, they took control over more territories by defeating the local chiefs and nawabs. And like this, there were new centers of British administration. They established Bombay, Calcutta and Madras as their centers. These all are in three different directions, and they kept it as their centers of British power. And these cities were known as presidency towns. Bombay, Calcutta and Madras, these cities were known as presidency towns. So the new towns which emerged are divided into different categories. So we'll understand that. So first is port cities. As with the name only you can understand, these cities were actually for the purpose of trade. They were actually the trading centers. So some of the old port cities of 19th century, like you have Surat, Goa, Machilipatnam, Seringpatnam, Cochin, Chittagong, they were de-urbanized. And there were new port cities like Calcutta, Bombay and Madras which came into existence. So old one was de-urbanized and new one came into existence. In this, Bombay became the main port of the company in the western part. Now what was the purpose? Purpose was actually the trade, and what they were doing in the trade, they were exporting the raw materials. So what raw materials were exported? They were exporting cotton, raw silk, food grains, spices, opium, indigo, jute. So these raw materials were imported to European industries, because European industries were in need of these things, so they were exporting this. Now, some of the manufactured silk and woolen fibers, machinery and metal products were imported to India. The raw materials were exported, and the machineries or metal products or manufactured silk and woolen fabrics were imported to India. And after that, they were transported to different parts of India by train, road or river. So like this, the trade was happening through these port cities. Then you have interior cities. So in interior cities, there were cities which were well planned. So well planned cities like Delhi and Chandigarh came into existence. These cities were easily accessible by rail, road or river. And they differ from the old one in their area, layout and population. Then you have hill stations. So in hot summers, the British took relief in the cool places, which was away from dust heat of the plains. And that is why these hill stations were developed. So in that, Shimla, Mussoorie, Nainital, Darjeeling, Ooty, these were the most popular hill stations. And also these hill stations had British architectural monuments like church, mall roads, theatres, sanctuaries, etc. can be found there. Now, whatever new cities and towns were developed that were different from the older ones in pattern, design, layout, area, population, and in administration also. It was different from the old ones. Now, public buildings, administrative offices, town halls, clock towers, and supermarkets were the main features of new urban centers. These cities were well planned. There were broad streets, excellent sewage systems, towns, parks, auditoriums, playgrounds, theaters, everything can be found there. Also, some of the cities were having adjacent cantonment area or civil lines which were built on the European pattern. Now, the families of army personnel and defense forces used to reside in these cantonment areas. These cantonment areas were having broad streets, open spaces. They were having their own markets, shops and parks. Now, in British period, some cities like Madras were having white town and black town area. The white town was for English and the black town was for Indians or the local peoples. At times, a wall separated the white town from the black town. I hope you all understood all the topics taught in this video. Thank you.